What's up, Cinephiles? Welcome back to our channel. For today's episode, we are going to do a review of the Netflix teen comedy. This is a dance movie directed by Terruso, and it stars Sabrina Carpenter as Quinn, a high school student who aspires to be in a prestigious college, and but by doing so, she implicitly lied in her application that she is part of a award-winning dance group, which she is not. So what she needs to do is form her own dance troupe, consists of ragtag misfits who are not professional dancers. Before I start on this review, if you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We do weekly reviews on movies, TVs, and even video games. Joining me for this review is my friend Joshua Perez. He's from the Talkies YouTube channel. Joshua, welcome to the channel.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, so why don't you first start with your initial thoughts?
So basically, I thought the movie was definitely a little entertaining, but it was definitely also unoriginal because the movie plays out exactly how you think it's going to play out from beginning to end, especially if you've seen this type of movie before. So narratively speaking, it's predictable, it's formulaic. You have a student protagonist who's going to enter this dance competition. You know, something happens that splits up the team. Usually there's a romantic interest involved also. So if you've seen movies like Step Up or Bring It On, expect no different here. And I feel like most people are going to be okay with that because the main appeal of these type of films is the dancing. And I thought the dancing was average. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. Nothing that's going to reinvigorate or reinvent the wheel as far as this particular movie genre is concerned. So I thought the dancing was okay. It just wasn't anything that was going to make me jump out of my seat and just want to do the tango or something out in public in front of the crowd. So I thought it was okay. Also, as far as the characters, I thought the characters were interesting. They were likable. I wish they could have done a little bit more with them, because I do feel like some of the characters were not utilized to the fullest. Characters like, I believe he was called DJ Tapes. He was one of the characters, and they didn't use him. They didn't really use him a lot. There was very little dialogue coming from him, as well as the soccer player character. You did have the likable main protagonist, as well as Jasmine, which was played by Liza Koshy. And a lot of people are gonna recognize her from Vine, where she got her start. Before that kind of went away, and then she just kind of transitioned to YouTube. So she's an extremely likable, comedic person and character if you're familiar with, you know, her YouTube channel and the videos that she does. And it can be a double-edged sword, I think, because a lot of YouTubers who are making that transition from YouTube to film, I usually try to be a little bit cautious because it doesn't always translate so well. You know, if they're funny in their YouTube content, they may not be in a major film, or, you know, acting could be an issue. And I did see another film that she was in. It was actually a Madea film, Booze, the Halloween, something like that. And she wasn't the greatest. I didn't think her acting was that great. She didn't have a lot to do in that movie anyways. So that kind of stuck in my mind when this movie came about, because she had a lot more to do in this movie. A lot more dialogue, a lot more importance in her character. But I think she pulled it off. Like, I actually thought that she was funny when she needed to be, but subdued. Nothing that was anything like her channel, because she's usually kind of out there. If you've seen her videos, she is definitely a little overboard, but I think they kind of scaled her back a little bit for this film, and I think it was perfect. I think the balance with her comedic timing and just kind of being a little subtle with her humor, it kind of paid off. So I did enjoy her character. Sabrina's character also, I thought she was okay in this movie. So they were likable for the most part. I kind of enjoyed those aspects of the movie.
Yeah, I completely agree on everything that you've said. This movie won't really get any points for originality. You know, I've seen the trailer, and in my head, I'm already forming the plot beats, which I was expecting, and rightfully it did appear. And with these types of teen dance movie, it fits that there's also a romance subplot. It can be a cliche thing, but my skepticism went out of the window right away when I realized that the whole cast is likable. Granted, the plot is very predictable, you know, in this type of competition movies, there's going to be two outcomes really. Either they win or they lose, and in the end there's gonna be some big speech about it's not about winning, it's about the lessons that we've learned and the friends that we gained along the way. Going back to the likable cast, Sabrina Carpenter, I am not familiar with any of her work, but I find her really entertaining. She reminded me of a young Chloe Moretz, and I kind of like her character arc here because she started as a terrible dancer, then she went to an acceptable level, then into a pretty good level. I know she's really a good dancer, and it might be hard for her to tone down, to do her awkward dancing if she's good. And for the others, Jordan Fisher and Liza Koshy, they're really gifted dancers, and the film does not hide that fact. It really capitalized on their chemistry. I like the chemistry of Sabrina to Liza. You can really buy their friendship, and also even if it's really thin and the two seem to fall in love for no apparent reason, her chemistry with Jordan Fisher also works. And with the cast, you mentioned that they're deeply underutilized. I have to agree with that, but I have to give props because they are a cast of racially diverse. The only description that we know about them is the identity they bring to the movie with their style of dancing. And the moves, it's not really spectacular as what you've said. There's no iconic or signature dance move that will go down the line in the years to come, unlike what step-up movies do. Most of the dances here are pretty average, but it works for the film because they're not really professional dancers, and it would be unreal to see them as seasoned and professional dancers at the end of this movie. You know,
I agree.
It'd be way too insane. But what I liked most about this movie is it reminded me back on my student days, because I am myself an introvert. I can relate myself to Quinn here. She's being forced to step out of the box, and I personally find myself the situation back then that I was being forced to do some dance routines. Like I can't dance for the love of God, but you know, we have to make do, and it's about finding your own rhythm. There's even a scene where they feature dancers with disabilities, and it feels inclusive. Dance is not something that's limited to the professional ones. It's about a celebration that everyone can enjoy.
I thought as far as the antagonist, the lead of the Thunderbirds, I thought he was very interesting. There were moments where I actually laughed. He didn't stick out too much, but I thought the moments that we saw him in were a little bit funny. Just something about that humor. It's a little subtle, not overbearing, but I thought he was an interesting character, and you know, I feel like you have to have that type of character in this kind of movie to kind of help the protagonist kind of overcome their challenges.
I've seen that actor before in Love, Simon. That's another coming of age movie, and he plays a straight role, very serious, so I was quite surprised that he's actually good at dancing. He does a lot of flips, but I guess the best dancer would have to be Liza Koshy.
And I think she does have an actual background in dancing. I think she actually danced for a team in high school. You could obviously tell when she was dancing that that was kind of something she was passionate about before. The only other gripe that I did have with the movie was the third act of the film. It kind of wrapped up very quickly. There just needed to be a little bit more to the ending, and I think a large part is due to the fact that we only had 2 dance groups in that competition. Usually with these types of films, you have 3 to 5 different dance teams, so there is a little bit of variety in what we see in characters, in the teams, in the dancing. But here we only had 2. We only had the Thunderbirds and Sabrina's character and her team. So I felt like maybe introducing 1 or more teams would have kind of helped kind of expand that third act. You know, just a little bit more dance numbers or routines. Even if they kept it just to those 2 teams, kind of extended it out a little bit more, it would have made it more impactful. But overall, I think it was okay.
Compared to the other dance films that you mentioned, like Bring It On, you can't really feel that the stakes are high here. It's just a short runtime, and they don't really focus on the competition aspect of it. It's just more of the journey of Sabrina's character and how she finds herself getting out of the box and eventually taking up a liking for dancing, which naturally integrates in her life. Yeah, I guess it's a bit of rushed, but on the other hand, I think 90 minutes is just a proper run time, because if they went on a longer run time, it can be overbearing because you've seen these plot beats every now and then. Netflix teen shows don't really have the highest standards. This one is pretty average. Once you've thrown that skepticism away about the predictable plot beats and you find the characters here entertaining, especially the performances, this is actually watchable and it's not pretentious. One character even made a comment that, what if we kidnap a young Channing Tatum, as a reference to the Step Up movie.
Yeah,
so,
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5.
And that's exactly what I would have given it, 3.5 stars. I think it was fun. I think it was entertaining. A lot of the humor kind of worked for me. Most of the fun scenes were definitely at that hospice or elderly home. It made it a little bit enjoyable. It's definitely not original, but I think that if you're into this type of movie, you're gonna find some kind of enjoyment with it. So definitely 3.5 stars.
Okay, so I guess that's our review for Work It, new Netflix dance teen comedy. Have you guys seen it? So what do you think? Drop your comments down. Joshua, thank you for coming to our channel. Why don't you go and plug your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so you guys can find me right here on YouTube at Juice Talkies. You can also follow me on Twitter at Juice Talkies also. So yeah, definitely stop by, leave me a message or comment. That'd be awesome. So thank you.
Yeah, I have to say, this guy makes the most fun skits, unexpected, from his review. So go ahead and check them. But if you do enjoy watching this video, please give us a like and consider subscribing for more reviews about TV, movie, and video games. Till then, guys, see you on the next one. Bye.
Thanks, Kevin.